I was folding laundry when my phone buzzed. The screen flashed Mia. My heart softened automatically. "Hey, sis," I started, but no one answered. I pressed the phone tighter, then I heard her voice. "God, can you believe she actually paid my rent again?" Mia's laugh rang sharp, slicing into me. Daniel's voice followed, smooth and mocking. "Your sister's pathetic. Who works themselves half dead just to hand over cash like that?" I froze, laundry slipping from my hands. "She acts like a saint," Mia sneered. "But really, she's just desperate. No man, no social life, always alone. Honestly, I almost feel bad for her." Daniel chuckled. "Don't. She chooses to be your wallet. If she's dumb enough, why stop her?" My throat tightened. I whispered to myself, "This isn't real. This isn't happening." Mia's laugh turned cruel. "She thinks I'm struggling. But look at this bag you bought me." "Luxury, Daniel." "Luxury. Paid for with her sweat." My chest burned. My legs weakened, but I couldn't stop listening. Daniel said, "Keep her close. As long as she believes she's saving you, she'll keep paying." "Free money." "Yeah," Mia agreed, smug. "She lives to save me. Pathetic." I couldn't take it anymore. My finger hovered before I whispered, "Enough." I hit end. The silence that followed was worse. The phone slid from my hand onto the floor. I pressed my palms to my face. My body shook as if the room itself had betrayed me. I didn't know how long I sat there, but when my phone buzzed again, I jumped. "Mia." I stared at her name, bile rising. I pressed answer, but my voice cracked. "Mia, hey sis." Her tone was sweet, fake. "I was just about to call you. Wait, did you just hang up?" "Connection's weird." I swallowed hard. "I heard you." Her pause was sharp, her silence guilty for just a second. Then she laughed too loud. "Heard me? What are you talking about?" "I heard you. You and Daniel. Talking about me, mocking me, using me." My words trembled, but my anger bled through. Her voice rose defensively. "Wait, no, you're twisting things." "You must have misunderstood." "I didn't." My breath caught. "You called me by mistake." "I heard everything." Another pause. Then her tone turned icy. "So what? You've been paying because you wanted to. No one forced you. Don't play victim now." Her words stabbed deeper than silence. Daniel's voice cut in faintly behind her. "Is that your sister?" "Tell her to relax," I snapped. "Relax? After hearing you laugh at me like I'm nothing? After giving you everything I had?" Mia hissed. "Stop being dramatic." "You're overreacting." My voice cracked into a shout. "Overreacting? I starved some nights to cover your bills. I worked double shifts so you could finish school. And this is what I get? Enough, okay?" She yelled back. "I didn't ask you to sacrifice. You chose to. Don't put that on me." Tears blurred my vision. "I chose it because I loved you. Because you were my sister." "Then keep loving me," she snapped. "Stop whining." Daniel's laugh echoed in the background. "Told you she'd get emotional." That laugh was the final crack. My chest tightened until it hurt to breathe. "Mia," I whispered, "I'm done." Her sharp inhale reached me even through the phone. "What do you mean, done?" "No more money. No more saving you. No more being your fool." Her voice sharpened like a blade. "Don't you dare. I need you. You can't just—" "I can." My voice steadied for the first time. "And I will." She screamed my name, but I ended the call. The silence after was deafening. I stared at the phone, my reflection ghostly in the black screen. My chest heaved, my heart pounding in my ears. I wanted to vomit, to scream, to curl up and disappear. Instead, I whispered into the empty room, "Never again." My hands shook as I picked up the laundry from the floor, but nothing felt the same. Each shirt, each folded piece blurred in my vision. My sister's words rang louder than anything in the world. Pathetic. Wallet. Desperate. I dropped everything and sat back down. My body trembled, but somewhere beneath the wreckage of my heart, a spark burned. It was rage. It was betrayal. It was the birth of something I couldn't yet name. I pressed my hands against my chest, steadying my breath. "This is the last time," I whispered. "The last time I let them laugh at me." The words shook, but they were real. They were mine, and though my world had shattered, something new was rising from the pieces. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the dark window. My phone rested beside me, silent but heavy like a curse. I whispered into the shadows, How could she? How could my own sister laugh at me like that? The room answered with silence, so I answered myself. Because I let her. Because I made her believe I'd never say no. Tears stung my eyes. I grabbed a pillow and pressed my face into it, choking back sobs. My voice cracked against the fabric. I gave her everything. I went hungry just so she could eat. I stayed late at work so she could sleep in. And she calls me pathetic? The words echoed in my head until I couldn't stand it. I picked up my phone, dialing without thinking. The ringtone felt like knives, and when Sophie answered, I broke. "Soph," I whispered, my throat raw. She used me, her voice sharpened. What happened? "Slow down," I gasped for air. Mia, she butt-dialed me. I heard her. She was with Daniel. They laughed at me, said I was desperate, pathetic. Just their wallet. Sophie went silent, then cursed under her breath. Unbelievable. After everything you've done for her? You've practically raised her. My hands shook as I gripped the phone. I know, I thought I was helping. I thought I was saving her. No, Sophie snapped. You were sacrificing yourself. There's a difference. I let out a bitter laugh that turned into a sob. Then what was the point? Every late shift, every empty fridge. All for what? So she could call me a fool? Sophie's voice softened. The point was love. But she doesn't deserve it anymore. You have to stop, or she'll keep bleeding you dry. I don't know if I can, I admitted, shame pooling in my chest. She's my sister. I keep hearing Mom's voice telling me family comes first. What if I'm cruel for saying no? What if you're cruel to yourself for saying yes? Sophie countered. When was the last time anyone put you first? Her question cut deep. I had no answer. I wiped my face with trembling hands. Never, no one ever has. Not Mia, not Daniel. Not even Mom. Then it's your turn, Sophie said firmly. You've carried everyone else. Now you carry you. I pressed the phone to my forehead, whispering, but it hurts. It hurts so much. I feel like I can't breathe. That's the glass breaking, she told me softly. Every lie you believed about being needed, every chain you tied to her, it's shattering. It's painful, but it's freedom too. My chest rose and fell like I'd run miles. Her words stuck, heavy but true. I whispered, I don't want to be her fool anymore. Then don't, Sophie urged. Say it out loud. Promise yourself. I closed my eyes, clenching my fists. My voice trembled, but I forced the words out. Never again. No more free rides. No more begging for love. Sophie exhaled like she'd been waiting for it. That's it. Hold on to that. The silence stretched, but it wasn't empty anymore. It was mine. I finally said, I'm scared. If I walk away, she'll hate me. Maybe Mom will too. Maybe they will, Sophie admitted. But you'll have yourself. That's worth more than their approval. I stared at the floor, tears dripping onto the carpet. My heart still ached, but somewhere inside, something shifted. It was small, fragile, but real. For the first time, I wondered what my life could look like without being Mia's safety net. I whispered into the quiet, maybe I deserve more. Yes, Sophie said fiercely. You do, and it starts tonight. Don't send her money. Don't pick up her next call, just breathe for yourself. I nodded even though she couldn't see me. Okay, tonight I breathe for me. When we hung up, I curled into bed, the pillow damp under my cheek. My chest still hurt, but beneath the pain, there was a spark, tiny, flickering, but alive. I held onto it with everything I had. The phone lit up with Mia's name the next morning. My stomach knotted. I pressed answer anyway. Hey, sis, she chirped. Listen, I need a quick favor. Rent's due, and Daniel's paycheck got delayed. Can you spot me, just for this month? I gripped the phone tighter. No. She laughed like she misheard. What? Come on, don't be dramatic. It's just rent. I said no. My voice shook, but I forced the word out. Her tone dropped, sharp. What's your problem? You always help me. Why are you acting brand new? Because I'm done, I said, my throat burning. I heard what you said yesterday, Mia. I'm not your wallet anymore. Silence. Then her hiss. You're still hung up on that? You seriously think you can cut me off over one joke? One joke? My voice cracked. You called me pathetic. You laughed about me starving to cover your bills, she scoffed. So what? You're acting heartless. Do you forget everything I've done for you? My blood boiled. What have you done for me, Mia? Tell me. Name one thing. I'm your sister. she shouted. I've been there for you. Being born doesn't count as being there, I snapped. I worked myself into the ground for you, and all you gave back was insults. Her voice rose. You're so ungrateful. I put up with your moods, your sad little life, and now you're trying to flip the script on me. You owe me. I owe you nothing, I spat. Not anymore. Her laugh was cruel, brittle. You'll regret this. You'll come crawling back, begging to fix things. Never again, I whispered, then hung up. The silence after was thunder. My hands shook, but my chest felt lighter, like a lock had broken open. That afternoon, my phone rang again. This time, Mom's name glowed on the screen. My throat tightened, but I picked up. Sweetheart, Mom said, voice soft, almost pleading. I just got off the phone with Mia. She's upset. What happened? She told you, I muttered. She said you refused to help her. Is that true? Yes, I said firmly. I told her no. I won't keep paying her bills. Mom sighed. Honey, don't start drama. She's your sister. She's struggling. She's not struggling, Mom. She's using me. She mocked me with Daniel. I heard her, a pause. Then Mom's voice wavered. You must have misunderstood. Mia's not cruel like that. I clenched my jaw. I didn't misunderstand. I heard every word. She called me pathetic, desperate. She laughed at me for saving her. Mom's voice sharpened. Still, you shouldn't cut her off. She needs you. Family helps each other. Family doesn't bleed one person dry, I shot back. Family doesn't laugh behind your back. She's young, Mom argued. She makes mistakes. You're older, wiser. You should know better than to hold grudges. I laughed bitterly. So I should just keep handing her my life while she spits on me? Don't be cruel, Mom scolded. You know Mia has a big heart. She loves you. Love doesn't sound like that call, I whispered. Love doesn't make me feel worthless. She's your sister, Mom pressed. What will people think if you abandon her? I don't care what people think. I care about breathing without feeling used. Mom's tone softened again. Please, honey. Just help her this once. Don't break the bond over something so small. So small? I choked. She laughed at me like I was trash. That's not small, Mom. That's betrayal. She's still family, Mom whispered. And I'm still your daughter, I shot back. Why is her comfort more important than my pain? Mom went quiet. The silence stretched until I finally said, I won't give her another cent. Don't ask me again. Honey, no, I cut her off. This is final. I ended the call before she could guilt me more. My hands trembled, my heart pounded, but for the first time, I felt the chains loosen. That night, Mia texted me. Mia, you're selfish. You'll regret this. Me. Maybe, but at least I'll regret it with my dignity. I stared at the screen, waiting for her next blow, but nothing came. The silence was its own victory. I whispered into the dark. I'm free. The words scared me, but they tasted like truth. Breaking chains hurt like hell, but for the first time in years, I felt like I could finally breathe. The phone buzzed again that evening. Mom's name glowed across the screen. I sighed, already bracing myself before I picked up. Sweetheart, she began softly. I've been thinking about our talk earlier. You shouldn't be so hard on Mia. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Mom, you don't know what she said. You didn't hear her laugh at me? She's young, Mom said quickly. She doesn't always think before speaking. You can't hold that against her forever. Forever? I snapped. It's not just one slip. It's years of her taking and me breaking myself to give. And she laughs about it, Mom sighed. She's your sister. She's struggling. Family takes care of each other. I paced the room, anger rising. Struggling people don't spend money on luxury bags. Struggling people don't laugh about their savior being pathetic. Her silence stretched before she whispered, Maybe she laughs because she's ashamed. Maybe it's her way of hiding. I clenched my jaw. Stop making excuses for her, Mom. She's not ashamed. She's entitled. She expects me to rescue her forever. She's not as strong as you, Mom pleaded. You've always been the responsible one. Isn't it your duty to protect her? I nearly dropped the phone. Duty? To protect someone who stabs me in the back? When do I get protection? When does anyone protect me? Mom's voice wavered. You've always been the capable one. That's why I count on you. That's why Mia counts on you. I laughed bitterly. So because I can endure, I must. Because I can work myself half dead, I should. You know I don't mean it like that, Mom said. But please, don't cut her off completely. Send her a little, just enough to ease her burden. No, I said firmly, though my chest ached. Not this time. Honey. I said no. I ended the call before she could twist my resolve again, but the night stretched long and heavy. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, guilt gnawing like a rat at my ribs. Her words whispered through me. Duty, responsibility, family. I turned to my phone on the nightstand. Mia's name hovered at the top of my messages, unread texts stacking like weights. My hand hovered. I muttered, maybe Mom's right. Maybe I should send something small. Just this once. I opened the banking app, thumb trembling over the transfer button. The amount glared back at me. Rent, bills, more than I could comfortably spare. My reflection in the dark screen stared at me, hollow-eyed. I whispered to myself, and what about me? Who pays my bills? Who saves me? Silence answered. I dropped the phone back onto the nightstand with a thud and buried my face in my hands. The next morning, Sophie called. Did you cave? She asked immediately. I shook my head even though she couldn't see. Almost. I almost sent her money last night. Mom kept telling me it's my duty. Of course she did, Sophie muttered. She's been enabling Mia for years. Don't let her drag you back under. I chewed my lip. But what if they're right? What if I really am cruel? Cruel? Sophie scoffed. Cruel is mocking the person who saves you. Cruel is taking without gratitude. You saying no is survival, not cruelty? I keep hearing Mom's voice, I whispered, telling me to protect her. To be responsible. Then hear mine, Sophie said firmly. Protect yourself. Be responsible for you. When's the last time anyone protected you? My throat tightened. Never. Exactly, she said. So why should you sacrifice yourself again? I pressed the phone to my ear, my eyes wet. I don't know. I feel guilty. Like I'm abandoning her. You're not abandoning her, Sophie said. You're setting boundaries. If she can't respect that, it's her choice, not yours. Her words steadied me. For the first time in days, I felt air fill my lungs without choking. That night, I sat by the window, city lights glowing faintly in the distance. My chest still ached, but I whispered to my reflection, I deserve someone to save me too. The glass held my words, fragile but true. I was at a cafe when Jenna, an old classmate of Mia's, leaned across the table with a smirk. I saw your sister last week. You spoil her, huh? My stomach twisted. What do you mean? She was flashing this new designer purse, said Daniel, surprised her. Honestly, it looked like one of those bags worth rent money. The air rushed out of me. She told me she couldn't afford rent, Jenna shrugged. Didn't look that way. They were at that fancy rooftop bar too, buying rounds for everyone. My chest tightened. With whose money? Jenna raised an eyebrow. Yours, maybe? You're the generous sister, right? I forced a weak laugh, but my hands trembled under the table. That night, I called Sophie. Soph, I whispered. You're not going to believe this. She groaned. What did she do now? Jenna saw Mia out partying. Luxury bags, rooftop bars, free drinks for everyone. All while I was covering her rent. Sophie swore under her breath. Unreal, she's not even hiding it. My voice cracked. All those nights I skipped meals thinking she was starving. She was feasting, Soph, on me. That's not just selfish, Sophie snapped. That's cruel. I want to confront her, I admitted, pacing the room. I want to scream at her for every dollar she wasted. Sophie's voice steadied. Then why don't you? Because she'll twist it, I said bitterly. She'll call me dramatic, heartless. She'll make me doubt myself again. Then don't give her the satisfaction, Sophie advised. Stay quiet. Let her think she's clever. Karma's coming, and when it does, it'll hit harder than you ever could. I sank onto the couch, whispering, So I just watch? You rebuild, Sophie said firmly. Take back your life. Save for you. Let her drown in her own lies. The next weekend, I ran into 2 more acquaintances at the grocery store. You should have seen Mia at the club, one said with a laugh. New dress, bottle service, dancing like she owned the place. She bragged Daniel bought it all, the other chimed in. Guess she forgot her rent's always late. I smiled tightly, but inside, rage twisted hotter. When I got home, I slammed the fridge shut and grabbed my phone. I nearly called Mia, but Sophie's words rang in my ears. Don't give her the satisfaction. Instead, I called Sophie again. She's living off me like I'm her ATM, I hissed. Everyone sees it but me. I feel like a fool. You're not a fool, Sophie said quickly. You're a giver. You trusted the wrong person. That's not stupidity, that's betrayal. But how do I stop this fire in me? I whispered. I want to expose her. I want everyone to know what she really is. You don't need to, Sophie replied. She's exposing herself. People are already talking. Her mask slipping without you lifting a finger. I closed my eyes, exhaling shakily. Then what do I do with all this anger? You use it, Sophie said. Put it into yourself. Work harder for you this time. Save money for you. Build a life that doesn't include her. Her words landed heavy but right. Rebuild for me, I repeated softly. Yes, Sophie said. She wanted you weak. Be strong instead. Over the next few weeks, I quietly shifted. I said no when Mia texted for money, though my chest still ached every time. I worked my shifts, but for the first time, my paycheck stayed in my account. One evening, Sophie and I met at a diner. She grinned when I showed her my savings app. Look at you. Actual money in your name, I smiled weakly. It feels strange, like I'm stealing from her. You're not stealing, Sophie reminded me. You're finally keeping what's yours. I toyed with my cup. But every time I don't send her money, guilt claws at me. That's conditioning, Sophie said. She trained you to think you owed her. You don't, my throat tightened. Then why do I still feel guilty? Because you're human, Sophie said gently. Because you care. And she never deserved it. I looked down at my hands. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever stop hearing her laugh in my head. You will, Sophie promised. One day that laugh will fade. Until then, keep standing tall. She doesn't get to own your heart anymore. I nodded slowly. I'll try. No, Sophie corrected. You'll do it. You already started. Her faith steadied me. For the first time in years, I believed maybe I wasn't doomed to be Mia's shadow. That night, I walked home alone. The city lights glowed around me, but I didn't feel small this time. Mia's world was glittering, but it was built on lies. Mine was plain, but finally, it was mine. I whispered into the night, let her feast. I'll rise. I was at work when my phone buzzed. Mia's name flashed across the screen. Against my better judgment, I answered. Her voice cracked. Sis, I don't know what to do. Daniel lost his job. Rent's overdue. They're threatening eviction. Please, I need you. I gripped the phone tighter. You always need me. But where were you when I needed respect? She sniffled. Don't do this. I'm scared. Just this once, please. I closed my eyes, her past laughter still echoing. No, Mia, not this time. Her tone shifted instantly, sharp and accusing. You're cruel, heartless. After everything I've done for you, I cut her off. Everything you've taken from me. Don't twist it. She sobbed, then hung up. At lunch, I sat in the break room, staring at my untouched sandwich. Eric, a coworker I barely spoke to, slid into the chair across from me. You okay? He asked gently. I forced a weak smile. Family drama. He raised an eyebrow. That bad? I laughed bitterly. You ever pour your whole life into someone, only for them to spit on you? He leaned forward. Yeah, my brother. Took everything I gave, blamed me when it wasn't enough. Haven't spoken in years. My chest tightened. Then you understand. Eric nodded. Too well. What happened? I hesitated, then whispered, my sister. She used me, mocked me. Now her life's falling apart, and she still thinks I'll save her. He studied me quietly. And will you? I shook my head. Not anymore. I can't. It nearly destroyed me. His lips curved into a small smile. That's strength. Most people cave. Strength, I echoed, feels more like guilt ripping me apart. Guilt's normal, he said. But every time you say no, you take a piece of yourself back. That's survival. His words hit deeper than I expected. For the first time, I didn't feel completely alone. That night, Mia called again. Her voice was hoarse, panicked. They shut off the electricity. Daniel's gone out all day, no job, no money. I can't do this. Please help me, I swallowed hard. Mia, I warned you. You laughed at me while I was starving. Why should I suffer again for you? I didn't mean it, she wailed. I was stupid. Please, just this once. No, I whispered. Her breathing turned ragged. You're heartless. You want me to suffer, don't you? I don't want you to suffer, I said quietly. I just don't want to be your fool anymore. She screamed my name, then the line went dead. The next day at work, Eric found me again. Rough night? He asked. I sighed. She called, crying. She's unraveling. I almost gave in. But you didn't, he said. No, I admitted. And it terrifies me that I felt relief after saying no. He smiled softly. Relief means you're healing. Don't fight that, I looked at him carefully. Why are you so kind about this? Because I know how lonely it feels, he said simply. And no one should go through it alone. Something in his tone made my chest ache, but not from pain this time. From warmth. 2 days later, Mia showed up outside my apartment. Her eyes were swollen, her hair messy, her clothes wrinkled. Please, she whispered. They're threatening to evict me. Daniel won't answer my calls. I don't know what to do. I leaned against the doorframe. Mia, you always know what to do. You run to me. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Because you're my sister. You're supposed to protect me, I shook my head. No, I protected you while you mocked me. I won't anymore. Fear flickered in her eyes. Real fear? Then you'll just watch me fall? She asked. My voice cracked, but I stayed firm. Yes, if that's what it takes for you to see what you've done, yes. Her face twisted with anger. You're cruel. No, I whispered. I'm finally free. She stormed off, slamming the stairwell door behind her. That evening, Eric texted, Eric, want to grab coffee? You look like you need air. I stared at the screen, hesitated, then typed back. Me. Yeah, I think I do. When I met him at the cafe, he smiled gently. So, did you survive the storm? I laughed, the sound surprising me. Barely. But I didn't break. That's more than most can say, he said. I sipped my coffee, warmth spreading through me. For the first time in weeks, I felt like maybe, just maybe, life could be more than survival. I was coming home from work when Mrs. Alvarez, Mia's neighbor, waved me over. You hear the fighting last night? She asked, shaking her head. Your sister and that boyfriend of hers were screaming so loud the walls rattled. My stomach sank. What were they fighting about? Money, she said bluntly. He called her useless. She called him a loser. Went on for hours. I forced a nod and muttered, thanks, before slipping into my apartment. Later that night, Mia's number lit up my phone. Against my better judgment, I answered. Her voice was shrill. Daniel's trash. He called me deadweight, said I ruined his life. Can you believe that? I swallowed. And what did you say? I told him he was nothing without me, she snapped. But he walked out. He left me. I sat on the couch, gripping the phone. So now you want me to clean up what's left? You're my sister, she cried. You can't just let me drown like this. I closed my eyes. Mia, you already drowned me once. I barely crawled back. I won't go under again. Her voice cracked with rage. So you'll just watch me suffer? Yes, I whispered. If that's the price of saving myself, then yes. She cursed me, then hung up. The next day at work, Eric slid into the chair across from me in the break room. You look lighter, he said. I raised an eyebrow. Do I? He smiled. Yeah, like you finally dropped something heavy. I let out a shaky laugh. Mia called again. She's spiraling. But I said no this time without crying, without shaking. Just no, Eric's eyes softened. That's strength. And it shows. Funny, I said quietly. For years, I thought strength meant holding everyone else together. Turns out it means letting go, he leaned forward. So what happens now? I took a deep breath. Now I build for me. 2 weeks later, my boss called me into her office. You've been doing outstanding work, she said. We'd like to promote you to team lead. It comes with a raise. My mouth fell open. Really? She smiled. You've earned it. I walked out of her office in a daze, clutching the news like a treasure. Eric caught me by the coffee machine. What's with the grin? He teased. I got promoted, I said breathlessly. A raise too, he grinned. I knew it. You deserve it more than anyone here, I laughed, the sound bubbling up like sunlight. I don't even know what to do with myself right now. Celebrate, he said simply. Let me take you to dinner, I blinked. Dinner? Like a date? His smile was gentle. Like whatever you're comfortable with. I hesitated, then nodded. Okay, dinner. That night, Mia called again. Her voice was raw, desperate. Daniel's gone. He took everything. I have nothing left. Please, I need you. I closed my eyes. Mia, I'm sorry. I can't. You can't or you won't, she demanded. I won't, I said firmly. Not anymore, she broke into sobs. You're choosing him, aren't you? That coworker of yours? You think he'll love you like I did? Love doesn't sound like mocking laughter, I whispered. Love doesn't feel like chains, she screamed. You're dead to me! And hung up. I set the phone down, my hand steady this time. Dinner with Eric was simple, just pasta at a small Italian place, but it felt like freedom. You seem different, he said, twirling his fork. Happier. I think I am, I admitted. For the first time, I'm not just surviving. I'm growing, he smiled. You should be proud. You've been through hell and you're still standing taller than ever. I looked down, my cheeks warm. It feels strange, like I'm living someone else's life. Promotions, dinners, savings. I almost don't recognize myself. Maybe this is the real you, he said softly, the one that was buried under everyone else's weight. I stared at him, his words sinking deep. Maybe he was right. Weeks passed. I focused on work, saved money, and let myself enjoy small things. Books, coffee, laughter with Eric. One evening, Sophie called. Guess what I heard? She said, What? Mia's been begging her old friends for loans. Nobody's helping. They're tired of her excuses. I swallowed hard. So it's really happening. She's unraveling, Sophie's voice softened. And you're not. You're rising. Tears filled my eyes, but they weren't the old kind. Yeah, for once I'm rising. The next morning, Eric found me at my desk. Coffee, he said, setting a cup down. I smiled. You didn't have to. I wanted to, he replied. Consider it fuel for your empire. I laughed. Empire? That's a stretch. Not for you, he said. Not anymore. I stared at the steam curling from the cup, warmth spreading through me. For the first time in my life, I wasn't chained to someone else's downfall. I was free. I was strong, and I was finally, undeniably, mine. The pounding on my door jolted me awake. I stumbled to the hallway, heart racing. When I opened it, Mia stood there. Makeup smeared, hair tangled, eyes hollow like she hadn't slept in days. She whispered, Please, let me in. I hesitated, blocking the doorway. Mia, what are you doing here? Her voice cracked. Daniel's gone. He took everything. I have nowhere to go. Please, just for a few nights. I'll figure it out, I swear. I swallowed hard. Mia! She grabbed my arm, desperate. Don't shut me out. You're my sister. You're all I have. The sight of her broke something in me, but the memory of her laughter, her calling me pathetic, stabbed sharper. I can't, I whispered. Her eyes widened. You can't? Or you won't? I won't, I said, forcing my voice steady. Not anymore. She pulled back, trembling. After everything I've been through? You'd leave me on the street? I clenched my fists. You left me there years ago. You just didn't see it. Her face twisted. You're cold, selfish, cruel. Tears blurred my vision. Maybe. But at least I'm not your fool anymore. She shoved past me into the apartment. You don't mean that. You can't. You've always been the strong one, the one who saves me. Don't stop now. I turned to face her. Strong doesn't mean being your crutch. It means standing without breaking. She dropped onto my couch, sobbing. I'm begging you. I'll do better. I'll change. My throat burned. You said that every time. Nothing changed. This time it will, she insisted, clutching at her chest. Please believe me. I shook my head slowly. No, Mia. I believed you too many times already. Her sobs turned to anger. So what? Eric fills your head with this? Sophie too? They turned you against me. I bit my lip. No one turned me, you did. Every lie, every laugh, you pushed me here. She stood, trembling with rage. You think you're better than me now? Just because you got a promotion? Just because someone finally looks at you? Her words cut, but I held my ground. No, Mia, I'm not better. I'm just done being less. Her voice dropped to a whisper. So you'd really let me go? Your own sister? My heart ached, but I nodded. Yes, she stared at me, broken. Then you're not who I thought you were. I felt tears slip down my cheeks. Neither are you. Silence stretched between us. Finally, I stepped toward the door and opened it wide. You need to leave. Her mouth fell open. You'd throw me out? Tonight, like garbage? I choked back a sob. I'm throwing out the chains, Mia, not you. But if you won't walk away, I will. She glared, her face a storm of pain and fury. You'll regret this. One day you'll need me, and I'll laugh just like you're laughing now, I whispered. I'm not laughing. Then I closed the door. I leaned against it, shaking as her fists pounded from the other side. Open it, she screamed. You can't do this to me. I'm your blood. I pressed my palms to the wood, tears streaming. I can. And I did. Her pounding slowed, then stopped. Silence followed. I slid down to the floor, curling my knees to my chest. My heart felt like it had shattered into glass, but beneath the pain was something fierce. Freedom. The next day, Sophie called. You sound wrecked, she said. She came to my door, I whispered. Begging, screaming. I told her no. I closed the door. Sophie was quiet a long moment. That must have been the hardest thing you've ever done. It was, I admitted, my voice breaking. But I didn't crumble this time. I stayed standing. That's strength, Sophie said firmly. You chose you. I closed my eyes, inhaling shakily. Then why do I still feel like I'm breaking? Because growth hurts, Sophie answered. But you're not breaking. You're healing. That night, I sat by the window, city lights glowing faintly in the distance. My chest still hurt, but for the first time, I didn't feel powerless. I whispered into the dark. I said no, and I survived. Sophie called one evening while I was cooking dinner. You hear about Mia? She asked carefully. My chest tightened. No, what now? She's crashing on a friend's couch. Word is she can't pay rent anywhere, and Daniel's long gone. I set the spoon down slowly. So it's true. She really lost everything, Sophie hesitated. Does that make you feel better? I thought about it, then shook my head even though she couldn't see. No, not better. Just lighter, like the world finally shifted where it was supposed to. A few days later, Mom called. Your sister's having a hard time, she said immediately. Her friends are tired of her. She has no one left. I leaned against the counter. That was her choice, Mom. She pushed everyone away. She's still your sister, Mom insisted. You can't just turn your back, I sighed. I didn't turn my back. I stopped being her crutch. She regrets what she said, Mom pressed. She told me she wishes she could take it all back. My throat tightened. Regret doesn't erase the years she drained me. Regret doesn't erase the laughter. Mom went quiet. Finally, she whispered, I just don't want you to carry bitterness forever. I'm not bitter, I said softly. I'm free. There's a difference. Later, Eric joined me for coffee. He noticed the tension in my shoulders. Mom again? He asked. I nodded. She still wants me to save Mia. Says she regrets it all. He tilted his head. And what do you want? I stared at the steam curling from my cup. I want peace. Not revenge, not pity. Just peace. He smiled gently. Looks like you already found it. I let out a shaky laugh. Some days I think so. Others, I still hear her voice. Scars take time, he said. But scars mean healing. That night, Sophie came over. We sat on my couch, wine glasses in hand. You've changed, she said, studying me. Good or bad? I asked. Good, she replied. Before you carried everyone else. Now you carry yourself, I laughed softly. Feels strange. My life's small now. Work, savings, quiet nights. But it's mine. And that's everything, she said firmly. I swirled the wine in my glass. Do you think she really regrets it? Sophie shrugged. Maybe, or maybe she regrets losing the benefits. Either way, it's not your weight to carry. Her words settled into me like truth. A week later, I bumped into Mrs. Alvarez again in the hallway. Your sister came by, she said, lowering her voice. She looked rough. Asked if you'd take her in. My chest tightened. And? I told her you're stronger than that now, Mrs. Alvarez said kindly. You deserve peace. Tears pricked my eyes. Thank you, she patted my arm. You've given enough. Let her find her own way. That night, I stood by the window, city lights glowing beyond the glass. I whispered to my reflection, I'm not her savior. I'm not anyone's fool. The words didn't tremble anymore. They rang steady. The next morning, Eric met me outside work. Big meeting today, he said, handing me coffee. I smiled. Thank you. I feel ready. You are? He said warmly. You've been ready for more than you think. As we walked in together, something shifted in me. For once, the weight wasn't on my shoulders. It was gone. Weeks had passed since Mia showed up at my door. She was still lost, still drowning. But I no longer felt pulled under with her. I didn't celebrate her downfall. I didn't smile at her pain. I smiled because, finally, I was living my life without it. For the first time in years, the smile didn't hurt.